The UN's reaction is something former Canadian ambassador to the United Nations, Bob Rae, says shouldn't be surprising.
Well, I think any unilateral step by a member state that directly affects the president of another country is going to raise a lot of flags at the United Nations. I mean, that's inevitable. It's Article 2 of the Charter is very clear. Lots of precedents for saying that you don't do these things.
With me now is Richard Schoenstein, legal analyst and trial lawyer. Richard, thank you very much for being here. Let's talk about Maduro's guilty plea. How does that affect the next steps in the legal process?
Well, I think you mean not guilty plea. Maduro and his wife both entered not guilty pleas at the arraignment in the Southern District of New York. They will be treated in the court system, at least, like any other defendant. They're presumed innocent until their guilt can be proven. They're entitled to their rights. They're entitled to seek bail. They're entitled to challenge the indictment, and they're entitled to the government's evidence against them before they have to go to trial. All of those are processes that are going to play out over the course of many months.
Okay, yes, and you're correct there. His not guilty plea, to be extremely clear. Now, Maduro's lawyers, do you think that they will challenge the legality of his capture as part of the defense?
Well, I don't know exactly what they're going to challenge. I will tell you this. They have retained excellent lawyers. Maduro and his wife each have their own lawyer. They're highly experienced lawyers in the U.S. criminal defense system. They're trial lawyers. They have many, many dozens of trials between the two of them. And I assume they're going to take every tack they can to challenge the government's case, including probably challenging the indictment right at the beginning.
What obstacles does the prosecution face in proving these charges?
Well, you have to think about this. This is a conspiracy case against very high-level defendants, just like you would have in any organized crime or any drug trafficking case. These are not people who are on the ground. There's no surveillance tape of them selling drugs to anybody. So the government has to prove that these underlying crimes occurred, drug trafficking, weapons possession, and that these defendants not only knew about it, but participated in the planning of these crimes and causing these crimes to occur. It's very, very difficult to work your way up the chain in a case like this, and it's a daunting task for the U.S. government.
What do you see as coming next for Maduro?
Well, I think they're going to be in jail until these proceedings see the conclusion. I know today they didn't ask for bail. They said they were going to keep their right to ask for bail in the future. I don't see a bail application going anywhere. I think they'll challenge the indictment. I don't really see that being successful. There are matters outside of the courtroom having to do with the way in which Maduro and his wife were taken from Venezuela and brought to the United States. There's international clamor about that. That's going to play out probably separate from the judicial process. But the judicial process is going to move slowly. I don't see any way the case would go to trial this year. So it'll be probably 2027 before they face a jury on these charges.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Richard, thank you very much for your time with us.
My pleasure.
That's Richard Schoenstein, legal analyst and trial lawyer.